Hafide, Lesor Mamai. Good morning. Welcome to your House chamber. We apologize for the delay. We had some technical things that we needed to take care of, but we're here and we're going to get started. I'd like to welcome you all, the gallery, the lobby, members of the community that are viewing on cable and on social media. Welcome to your House chamber and welcome to this session. I now call this seventh day, second regular session to order. Please let us all rise for a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. I now recognize the clerk to please call the roll of attendance.
Representative Fatat.
Present.
Representative Aldan. Representative Aquino.
Present.
Representative Fatal.
Present.
Representative Benavente.
Again.
Representative Angelo Camazzo. Representative Diego Camazzo.
Present.
Representative Joel Camazzo.
Again.
Representative Joseph Flores.
Present.
Representative Marissa Flores.
Present.
Representative Glonia.
Present.
Representative Ogle.
Present.
Representative Omar.
Gagi.
Representative Palacios.
Gaya.
Representative Rangamar. Representative Sablan.
Istiga.
Representative Nicolas.
Present.
Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Representative Yangtamay.
Yangi.
Representative Yumo.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 19 members are present and 1 member is absent.
Thank you, clerk. With 19 members present, it's enough for us to move forward with today's session. Please let the record reflect that Representative Rangamar is hereby excused for today's session. And before we proceed to public comments, I'd like to recognize the floor leader for the motion to amend today's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move to suspend Rule 3, Section 6, so that the House amends its agenda to include unnumbered bills and resolutions not filed with the House Clerk's office 72 hours in advance when a notice for session was given and posted. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made to suspend Rule 3, Section 6, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Fatat.
Yes.
Representative Aldan. Representative Aquino.
Yes.
Representative Fatal.
Yes.
Representative Benavente.
Good.
Representative Angelo Camazzo. Representative Diego Camazzo. Representative Joel Camazzo.
Yes.
Representative Joseph Flores.
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores.
Yes.
Representative Glonia.
Yes.
Representative Ogle.
Yes.
Representative Omar.
Hungan.
Representative Palacios.
Hungan.
Representative Sablan.
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas.
Yes.
Representative Yangtamay.
HoR.
Representative Yumo. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, the motion carries. We now proceed to public comments. The podium is open. Please state your name and the entity you represent. You'll be given 5 minutes. Please try to keep your comments related to the items on the agenda for today's session. Podium is open.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker and honorable members of the legislature. My name is Virginia Villagomez, Special Assistant for the Office of Management and Budget, and I am here on behalf of the administration. As you are aware, the governor has submitted a revision to the FY 2026 budget in response to a significant change in the revenue estimate from 179 million to 158 million, or a 12.1% decrease that reflects the fiscal reality we must now address together. The revised budget outlines 2 scenarios, one assuming the MPLT loan is approved and another assuming it is not. Both are designed to responsibly close the budgetary gap while preserving critical and essential programs that support our community, sustain our government workforce, and protect our retirees. Included in today's calendar is the amendment to House Bill 24-68, which addresses the first scenario and critical to our fiscal response plan. We support this amendment as it ensures the minimum annual payments to the retirees in FY 2026. If approved, residual funds reserved for this purpose under Public Law 24-14 are to be repurposed in the proposed revision to address other critical budgetary gaps in the current fiscal year. We respectfully bring to your attention one of the most urgent concerns: the group health and life insurance program for both active employees and retirees. Timely legislative action is necessary, or we risk losing the ability to maintain this vital coverage. It is important to recognize that the government cannot operate under the previously enacted $179 million budget. The governor has formally notified the legislature of the revised revenue estimate, and any delay in action will further jeopardize the financial stability of our public services. Mr. Speaker and members, we sincerely urge you to act swiftly on the budget revision. The health and well-being of our workforce and retirees depend on it. We remain committed to working closely with you to ensure a responsible and sustainable path forward for our government and the people we serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The podium's still open. And also, if you'd like to submit your written comments, please submit it to the Sergeant at Arms, and he'll submit it to the clerk. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable members of this legislature. My name is Tracy Narita. I am the Secretary of Finance for the Department of Finance. I am here on behalf of the administration, and today will be the 23rd day since the governor's submission of his revised budget proposal, and I am here in support of House Bill 24-68 with revisions to authorize MPLT to establish a margin account to facilitate the $29 million pension loan. I must reiterate that revisions must be made to the current language in the bill in order to succeed with the MPLT pension loan authorization. The problematic language must be removed. On October 31, last week Friday, the governor held a joint meeting with both the House and the Senate and MPLT trustees and Raymond James, MPLT's fund manager, to answer any questions and provide further clarification on the use of the margin account and exactly how it would facilitate the pension loan. In this meeting, it was made clear that Section 103 of this House bill is problematic, as it states that, and I quote, "Nothing in this act shall be construed to deem any margin transaction prudent per se," which contradicts the authorization to establish a margin account in Section 101. Again, I reiterate, Section 103 is problematic and should be removed. Now, if we are unable to move forward with this pension loan, the CNMI cannot expect further federal funding assistance for operations from the Office of Insular Affairs. This pension loan is a key factor to our fiscal reform strategy and ongoing efforts to secure more federal funds. Federal funds are on the table, and we don't want to lose that opportunity. The governor had submitted a revised budget which includes the MPLT pension loan that supports critical funding for retirees, group health, life and insurance. Without budget appropriation for retirees, our entire health insurance plan is at jeopardy and will be suspended or terminated by the second quarter. We should already be in open enrollment period right now. However, due to insufficient budget authorization for our retirees, we are unable to have our open enrollment as the retirees lack sufficient funding to cover their employer share of the health insurance premium. 7,000 covered lives depend on this revised budget authorization. I reiterate the administration supports the passage of MPLT legislation House Bill 24-68 with revisions and removal of the problematic language to support Scenario 1 of the governor's revised budget submission on October 14. Lastly, the governor had sent a letter yesterday to the presiding officers of the legislature informing you of the 1 million anticipated remittance from MPLT that should go towards the current food crisis the CNMI is facing. An administration-sponsored draft bill was also attached to the letter to aid in passage of legislation to get food benefits out to our people most in need. Your swift action on this matter is encouraged. Thank you for your time and support today.
Thank you, Secretary. The podium is still open.
Good morning, honorable members of this legislature. My name is Margarita Audon. I am the CNMI Nutrition Assistance Program Administrator. I am here in full support of the 1 million appropriation that the governor sent to you guys from MPLT funds. Right now, we just received word that the USDA FNS will support half of the benefits for the month of November. The way I keep reading and rereading the letter, it seems like it's just going to be partial funding for November and not be given it later on. But I did send that letter to our legal counsel at Office of Attorney General to help me interpret that letter. So I am in full support of any assistance to our families that are in need, CNMI-wide, to provide them the critical assistance to buy food that they need for their health and overall well-being. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Audon. The podium is still open. Secretary, you can go back for a second round if you want. Okay, with nothing further, we'll now proceed to the next item of the agenda, and that is the journal, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 3, adoption of journals, we have one item, fourth day, second regular session journal dated September 27, 2025.
Thank you, clerk, and with that, I recognize the floor leader for the adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the adoption of House Journal dated fourth day, second regular session, Journal dated September 27, 2025 for its adoption. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of the fourth day, second regular session journal dated September 27, 2025, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 4, introduction of bills, and I recognize Representative Attal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Formally introducing House Bill number 24-70 to authorize the public school system to utilize unrestricted funds previously appropriated to PSS for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes. And without any objection from the members, I respectfully ask the floor leader to please place this legislation on bill calendar for action today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Attal, and with that, I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and with no objection, I move to suspend Rule 9, Section 8, to place House Bill number 24-70 to authorize the public school system, PSS, to utilize unrestricted funds previously appropriated to PSS for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes on today's bill calendar. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to suspend Rule 9, Section 8, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. Next, I'd like to recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Formally introducing House Bill 24-71 to allow the Substance Abuse, Addiction, and Rehabilitation SAR program to promulgate fees and for other purposes. Introduced by myself, and it's open for co-sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Joel Camacho. House Bill 24-71 will be referred to the Committee on Health and Welfare. And with today's, with the motion earlier to amend today's agenda, any other unnumbered bills to be introduced? Recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I formally introduce an unnumbered bill to impose a remittance transfer tax within the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands equivalent to the federal excise tax under US 26 U.S.C. Section 4475 to ensure equitable revenue capture from outbound remittances to strengthen compliance with the federal fiscal policy and for other purposes. Introduced by myself, and it seems many others. Thank you.
Thank you, floor leader. Next, Representative Omar.
Thank you, Speaker. Introducing unnumbered bill, a bill for an act, and this is for introductory purpose only, pending action later. But this bill is to provide a non-refundable tax credit to taxpayers who make donations of cash or food supplies to qualified community-based service organizations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Omar. I recognize Representative Attal.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Formally introducing an unnumbered bill to appropriate funds derived from trust interest income from the Marianas Public Land Trust towards payment of household allotments of nutrition assistance program benefits for November 2025, introduced by myself and several others, and with no objection from the members, Mr. Speaker, respectfully asking the floor leader to place this on calendar, but not for action today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No objection.
Thank you, Representative Attal. Thank you, colleagues. And with that, I recognize the floor leader. Quick recess.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, can I call for a quick recess,
Quick
please?
recess. All right, we'll rise back from recess. Before we went on recess, Representative Attal introduced an unnumbered bill and requested for the floor leader to make a motion to place it on calendar for action later. And with that, I give the floor to the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Rep. Attal, for providing us a copy of the bill. At this time, I'd like to move to suspend Rule 9, Section 8, to place House Bill 2474 to appropriate funds derived from trust interest income from the Marianas Public Land Trust towards payment of household allotments of Nutrition Assistance Program, NAP, NAP benefits for November 2025. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to suspend Rule 9, Section 8. And it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. Any more under House bills? Okay, with nothing further, we move down to House local bills. Any House local, unnumbered House local bills to be introduced? Okay, nothing further. We now move down to introduction of resolutions, and I recognize Representative Manglonia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Formally introducing House Resolution 24-16, a House resolution to recognize and commend Project Buddy Check 670 for its unwavering dedication to empowering veterans and their families in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and for its longstanding contributions to community service, unity, and the well-being of our veterans. Introduce myself and my several others, and if no objection, I'd like to introduce this as Committee of the Whole.
No objection.
Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Representative TJ Manglonia, and with that, we'll let the record reflect that House Resolution 24-16 is hereby introduced by the Committee of the Whole, will be placed on calendar for action on a later session. Any further under resolutions? Recognize Representative Royada.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to formally introduce unnumbered House Resolution to honor and commend the Honorable Diego Tenorio Benavente for his lifetime of public service and enduring contributions to the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Island, and to extend the legislature collective prayers and gratitude to him and his family. Introduced by myself and sponsored by everyone present, and if there's no objection, I'd like to introduce this, offer this as a committee of the whole.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Adda, and with no objection, let the record reflect that the House resolution is hereby introduced by the Committee of the Whole. Any other resolutions? Okay, with nothing further, I'd like to recognize myself. Introducing commemorative resolution 24-5 to celebrate and commemorate the Northern Marianas Islands Football Association's NMIFA 20th anniversary and the remarkable impact NMIFA has had in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Introduced by myself and several others, and again, with no objection, I'd like to introduce this as a committee of the whole. Okay, thank you. Let the record reflect that. And we'll be placing commemorative resolution 24-5 on the resolution calendar for action today. With nothing further under resolutions, we now move down to item number 6, messages from the governor, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 6, messages from the governor, we have Governor's Communication 2467, which has been read on October 24, 2025. Governor's Communication 2468 and 69 read on the 24th October. Governor's Messages 2470, 71 and 72, 73, and added 2474.
Thank you. Clerk, any discussions under messages from the governor? Recognize floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd just like to comment on Governor's Communication 24-70 in regard to the NAP supplement. And I know that there are members of his executive team in the audience. And just for the record, I'd like to please ensure or ask that the Secretary of NAP give us at least this body and health and welfare, an update of the data of the recipients of this submission and request. As we know, we spoke about this in the 23rd legislature, and we had anticipated that there was going to be either an increase or a shortfall. And here we are in the 24th legislature seeking assistance. So Secretary, or to the governor's team, please ensure that a report will be submitted, accurate data, the total number of recipients for each island, employment status. I think that's important for us to plan accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, floor leader. Any other member? You ready? Okay. Under Governor's Communication 24-70, I'll just refer that to the Committee on Ways and Means for reference, and Governor's Communication 24-71 to the Committees on JGO and Gaming for their reference. With nothing further, we move down to item number 7, Senate Communications. We have none. Item number 8, House Communications. We have none. Item number 9, Communications from the Judicial Branch. We have none. Item number 10, Communications from Departments and Agencies. Clerk.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Under item 10, communications from Department and Agencies, we have Department Communication, Agency Communication 2419 to 2423.
Thank you. Clerk, any discussions under communications from departments and agencies? Ready? Okay. Under Department Agency Communication 24-19, I'll refer that to Ways and Means just for the committee's reference. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 11, Miscellaneous Communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Under item 11, miscellaneous communications, we have miscellaneous communications 2467 through 2474.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussions under miscellaneous communications? Ready? All right, thank you, everyone. We now move down to item number 12, reports of standing committees, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Under item 12, reports of standing committees, we have two items. Standing Committee Report 2438 and 2439, both are ready for House action.
Thank you, Clerk. And with that, I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 24-38, reporting on House Bill number 24-43, entitled "To Create a New Criminal Offense for Desecration or Theft of Memorials and Historical Sites." Your House Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations recommends that the House pass this bill in the form of House Bill number 24-43 HD1. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 24-38, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 24-38 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 24-39, reporting on House Bill number 24-57, entitled "To Reestablish a Government Liability Cap." Your House Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations recommends that the House pass House Bill number 24-57 in its current form. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to adopt Standing Committee Report 24-39, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 13, reports of special and conference committees. We have none. Item number 14, unfinished business. We have none. Item number 15, resolution calendar, and I recognize the floor leader.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the passage of a House commemorative resolution 24-5 to celebrate and commemorate the Northern Mariana Islands Football Association NMIFA 20th anniversary and remarkable impact NMIFA has made in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of commemorative resolution 24-5, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Commemorative resolution 24-5 is hereby adopted. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 16, bill calendar, and I recognize the floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, at this time, I'd like to call a short recess.
Short recess. Before we went on recess, we just entered the bill calendar, and with that, I give the floor to the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before offering the motion for passage on first and final reading, I move to suspend Rule 7, Section 9, and Rule 9, Sections 9 and 10. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to suspend Rule 7, Section 9, and Rule 9, Sections 9 and 10, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-68 to conditionally authorize the Marianas Public Land Trust to establish a margin account solely to facilitate the $29 million loan authorized under Public Law 24-13, subject to the continuing fiduciary and constitutional duties of the trustee. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill 24-68, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I'd like to offer a floor amendment, and that is on page 1, on line 10. After the word them, we insert a period and delete the following text. However, such borrowing involves leverage and therefore carries some considerations, heightened risk. Also on page 2, under line 17, subsection 103, to delete the text on section 103 in its entirety, all the way to page 3, lines 1 and 2. So move.
Thank you, Representative Sablan.
And if I may, Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
and that we allow the
Recognize it.
clerk and the legal counsel to
Make the-
renumber subsequently the subsections as we have deleted section 103 in its entirety. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. A floor amendment has been offered by Representative John Paul Sablan, and it has been seconded. Any discussions on the floor amendment? Ready? Okay. All in favor for the floor amendment offered by Representative John Paul Sablan, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The floor amendment is hereby adopted. We now move back to the main motion, and that's for the passage of House Bill 24-68 HD1. Any further discussions? Recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And at this time, I want to thank the members of Ways and Means and to the full body of this August body for the continued working meetings with the administration and, of course, the MPLT Board of Trustees. As you all know, this proposed legislation before us is a working legislation within all the branches of the executive and the legislative branch, and to include the Board of Trustees. And at this time, as the chair of Ways and Means, I appeal to all of you guys for your support that we pass House Bill 24-68, House Draft 1, as alluded by both Ms. V and Secretary of Finance, Ms. Tracy Norita, on public comments. The importance of this legislation as it is part of the fiscal reform plan that is being worked between the administration, OIA, and the Office of the Delegate to the Commonwealth. So I ask you guys for your full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. Any further under discussion? I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, and thank you, Chairman, for this process, which included countless meetings with the executive branch. But I will be remiss if I don't mention also that the executive committee or the executive branch just got back from their 902 talks, which we have yet to see, we have yet to know because it's in still negotiations. But to my understanding, we are now being placed in a corner because we have to demonstrate that we are suffering. Now, I'm not sure, but yes, I will agree that we are suffering, but we're suffering at the hands of a much higher power. And now we are put in this position to fight amongst each other, create this conversation that if we don't help our people, we're not going to get a handout. For the record, I did not ask for a handout, nor are people asking for a handout. And I hope the governor's watching, because the next team he decides to send better include my House Speaker and not just random folks handpicked because they serve somebody else. That was an injustice to begin with without involving anybody from the legislature, including our Speaker. Furthermore, the next time that this, I hope that when we pass this, we get that handout soon, like tomorrow, and not next month, and not the following month, and not for me to demonstrate or this House to demonstrate that we are now again in crisis mode. They put us here in this position. They took away our tourism. They took away our immigration. They took a lot of things away. Let me be clear about that. And now you're asking me, the United States Big Brother is asking me to demonstrate that I am suffering? Yeah, I'm suffering. I've been suffering since 1999. So, Chairman, thank you. Because at this point, this is much bigger than just local politics. This has to do with the United States government. And so when you guys go back, whenever that may be, I highly recommend that since we are now doing our job, include my speaker on the next round of visits. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Speaker, I yield my time.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Any further under discussion? Ready? Okay, and with that, Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes. Yes.
Representative Aldan,
No.
Representative Aquino,
Long overdue, yes.
Representative Atal,
Yes.
Representative Benavente,
Good.
Representative Angelo Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho,
Okay.
Representative Joseph Flores,
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores,
Yes.
Representative Maglonia,
Yes.
Representative Vogel,
Yes.
Representative Omar,
Hungan.
Representative Palacios,
Hungan.
Representative Sablan,
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas,
Yes.
Representative Yang Tamay,
Aware.
Representative Yumo. Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 18 members voted yes and 1 member voted no.
Thank you, Clerk. With 18 members voting yes, House Bill number 24-68, HD1, hereby passes the House. Thank you, colleagues. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the passage now on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-43, a bill for an act to create a new criminal offense for desecration, theft, or attempted sale of stolen memorials, historical or cultural sites and property. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made by the Floor Leader for the passage of House Bill number 24-43, House Draft 1, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Ada,
Yes.
Representative Aldan, Representative Aquino,
Yes.
Representative Atal,
Yes.
Representative Benavente,
Good.
Representative Angelo Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho,
Okay.
Representative Joseph Flores,
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores,
Yes.
Representative Maglonia,
Yes.
Representative Vogel,
Yes.
Representative Omar,
Hungan.
Representative Palacios,
Hungan.
Representative Sablan,
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas,
Yes.
Representative Yang Tamay,
Aware.
Representative Yumo. Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, House Bill 24-43, House Draft 1 hereby passes the House. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-57, a bill for an act to reestablish a government liability cap. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 24-57, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Haddad?
Yes.
Representative Aldan?
Yes.
Representative Aquino?
Yes.
Representative Atal?
Yes.
Representative Benavente? Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu? Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglotnya?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Palacios?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yang Tamay?
HoR.
Representative Yumong? Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, House Bill number 24-57 hereby passes the House. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-70, a bill for an act to authorize the public school system, PSS, to utilize unrestricted funds previously appropriated to PSS for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes. So move.
Quick recess.
Sorry.
Quick recess. Huh? From recess, before we went on recess, the floor leader made a motion, and I'd like to give the floor back for her to properly withdraw and
I withdraw my motion, Mr. Speaker. Apparently, I skipped a step because before I introduce that, I must suspend the rule. So, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, before offering the motion for passage on first and final reading, I move to suspend Rule 7, Section 9, and Rule 9, Sections 9 and 10. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made by the Floor Leader to suspend Rule 7, Section 9, and Rule 9, Sections 9 and 10, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And now, I move for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-70 to authorize the public school system, PSS, to utilize unrestricted funds previously appropriated to PSS for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes. So moved.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 24-70, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Recognize Representative Atal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues, for allowing me the time. Just to be clear to the general public or to the municipalities, these monies are not moving any sort of monies from other government agencies, departments, entities, or municipalities. These monies that we're allowing PSS to utilize are monies that actually belong to them. Over the last couple of fiscal years and through financial constraints, PSS were getting their allotments late, so a lot of these monies were received late in the fiscal year. And to their credit, they were using federal funds to address the shortage of the local appropriations for those respective fiscal years. To this date, the numbers are coming from an audit report that we actually met with PSS to run their numbers so that we're actually accurate to the numbers that were based off of an audit report for PSS for FY 2022. With that being said, when we met with the PSS administration, they actually provided their numbers, and then what we had on the audit report was very accurate to what they had in their respective accounts. And so I asked the members that we support this legislation. This would move PSS's current budget for FY '26 to $36.6 million rather than the $31 million that's currently appropriated to them. And with the passage of the marginal loan, that gets us another step closer to the revised budget that we're hopeful that we're going to work on, with the availability of $29 million to be freed up, and that would assist us, at least this body, to be able to move some funds, because PSS needs to get to their magic number of roughly about $40 million. This legislation will get us closer to $40 million, and to be clear that the legislative intent for this $4,911,849 is not only for the first quarter for PSS. So the remittance on a monthly basis will continue. This will add on to their FY '26 budget authorization for usage. And again, colleagues, I ask and I seek for your support. I apologize to our speaker, as he was the sitting president. He's the sitting president for APIO, and we had to bother the members in getting this legislation done to take away time from the APIO so that we can address this need for PSS, and so that their board can take actions in adopting the resolution, and to allow the PSS commissioner to be flexible in his ability to address the needs of the public school system. With this legislation, it'll actually give them the opportunity to restructure their austerity measures. Rather than going 2 Mondays off, they're looking at something less than that. And obviously, as we know through their news release, that they actually moved the date of austerity to November 17th, but this would give them at least a greater idea of their financial situation as we address the FY 2026 budget, with the new monies, potential new monies that we're going to be freeing up to address our financial needs here in the Commonwealth. So with that, colleagues, I thank you again for signing off on this legislation, and I apologize, Mr. Speaker, to you and to the delegates of APIO for bothering in getting you guys' signatures on this legislation so we can pre-file it for today's action. With that, again, thank you, members, and I seek your support for the legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Atta. Any further under discussion? We're ready? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Fanta?
Yes.
Representative Valdon? Representative Aquino?
Yes.
Representative Attal?
Yes.
Representative Benavente?
Again.
Representative Angelo Camacho? Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Ungan.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Gloria?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Palacios?
Again.
Representative Sablan?
Again.
Representative Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yangtamay?
HoR.
Representative Yumo? Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, House Bill number 24-70 hereby passes the House. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move for the first and final reading on House Bill number 24-70 to authorize the public. We did this. Sorry. Centric reports, colleagues, I apologize. Short recess.
Short recess. Before we went on recess, the floor leader had the floor for another motion for bill passage. So, floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I mean, obviously, yeah, it does reflect that times of crisis I move now for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-33, a bill for an act to statutorily define the scope of the Commonwealth's annual general revenues within the meaning of Article 15, Section 1E of the NMI Constitution. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 24-33, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay, Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Ada?
Yes.
Representative Aldon? Representative Aquino?
Yes.
Representative Fatal?
Yes.
Representative Benavente?
I introduce it, so yes.
Representative Angelo Komatsu? Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Yes, and thank you, Uncle Roman.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes, and thank you, Chairman.
Representative Glotnia?
Ungan.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Palacios?
Ungan.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative Cindy Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yang Tamay?
Hungan.
Representative Yumo? Mr. Speaker?
Awed.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, House Bill number 24-33 hereby passes the House. Thank you, colleagues. I've never heard so many thank yous during a yes vote, so. We now move down to item number 17, miscellaneous, and the floor is open. Recognize Representative Ato.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues, for your support on the legislation 2470 for PSS. Obviously, it's going to get them closer to the $40 million target that they've been asking for. So that would assist us in the budget process or the revised budget process. Thank you again, colleagues, for supporting 24-68. I understand it's a very difficult situation that they've pinned the CNMI to in regards to these negotiations, and unfortunately, we weren't a part of the discussions. And I echo the floor leader, and I support her position that the legislature, at the very least, the presiding officers, should have been aware of what was being discussed in DC. And I know that the Secretary of Finance and the team that was there are really trying their very best in getting the information out this way. But it's very unfortunate that they're given a 1 week window to sit with the members of OIA or whoever else in U.S. Congress or the White House to negotiate the terms and conditions and the actual financial situation the CNMI is facing. Unfortunately, at the same time, we also showed that there was other options, right? We introduced what became Public Law 24-13. So they saw that. They saw that as an option that the CNMI hasn't exhausted. But I also agree with the floor leader that they've made unilateral decisions without our agreement to put us in certain financial situations. We don't want to dwell in the past, but we also don't want to forget about the past. Because if we forget about the past, we're going to end up repeating the same problems that our people are facing today. So with that, at the very least, I'm humbly asking that the administration please include, at the very least, the Speaker of the House and the Senate President on the table with this negotiations, because when we're faced with financial problems in the general public, the House of Representatives is always going to be the first one that's going to be blamed. We're not taking any actions, but we can't take any actions if we don't have numbers to work with. Fortunately, we've been working as much as possible with the administration, our counterparts in the Senate, and all the other entities available to sit down and negotiate with us to free up some money so we can help our people and their needs. Even with that, we're still facing austerity measures. We passed the legislation that's going to help the public school system. Even with that, they're still going to implement austerity measures. The revised budget that we're working on will still include austerity measures. But the options that we are faced with are very, very tough. We've been faced with fire after fire after fire, and it's very unfortunate because we have plans as a body. We have plans in building infrastructure to make our homes better, but unfortunately, other situations pop up, and there's nobody to blame. It just happens. Right now, the federal government's in shutdown. The trickle-down effect, our people are put in a situation where they're not going to have food on the table. Until the 11th hour, they come around and say, oh, by the way, we're going to give you guys 50%. But yet, it's this body that's being blamed for inaction of finding resources to get to our people so they can have food on the table. This $1 million legislation that we're hopeful to act on when the speaker calls session, hopefully very, very soon, is not going to solve the problem. But at the very least, it's not going to leave anybody hungry. There's going to be food on the table. The 50%, great. But your inability to sit down and work your problems out in U.S. Congress is not our fault. We don't agree on everything here in the CNMI, but at the very least is we never put our people in a predicament to suffer. If that's a decision that needs to be made 8,000 miles away to put us in a tougher situation, then so be it. Let them do it, right? But at the end of the day, we stand for our people and we continue to stand for our people, whether it's a financial need for food on the table, a financial need for our educational system. We find ways to help our people. It's not the greatest solution, it's not the perfect solution, but it's something that we see. We empathize and we think with our hearts as much as we think with our brains. Unfortunately, 8,000 miles away, they don't think the same way. They want to play the political mess. We throw that to the side and we sit down together and we figure out. We don't have to agree on everything, but we know we're going to come up with some sort of solution for our people. So with that being said, I thank you, colleagues here in the House. I thank our brothers and sisters up in the Senate, the administration, government departments, agencies, and entities that joined in this process. We will continue to do it. I guess they'll probably throw something else next month, right? But at the very least, when this budget process happens, we're able to at least reserve $4.9 million in a reserve account so that should we ever have to face something like this, where there's not going to be food on the table for our families here in the CNMI, or we're going to cut school days for our students, that $4.9 million is going to be there for us to help our people. So again, thank you guys for all your work, your effort. Speaker, thank you for your leadership. And obviously to our chairman of Ways and Means, I don't think he slept since September 2nd of this year, but it's our job. It's not our people's job to worry. It's our job to take away the worries from them and provide solutions for them. So with that, again, thank you, colleagues, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Attal. Representative Manglonia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Chairman Attal, for those sentiments. I just wanted to take the time to recognize the efforts of Representative Hines in D.C. She's one member of hundreds, a non-voting member of that, and she's doing all that she can to get the assistance for our people. When it comes to food, the basic necessities, we have to exhaust all efforts. And I understand that the MPLT situation and constantly having to borrow from them is not ideal. But when it comes down to our basic needs for our people, I understand that we need to do what we must. But I also would like to suggest, and privy to our conversations this morning, is that we band together with Representative Hines and speak directly to DC. I understand that the 902 talks are mostly privy to the executive branch, but at some point we do have to band together and have them realize our situation here. A lot of times, we get thrown to the side, or a lot of them in DC don't even know that we exist. And we have to make our presence known, and we have to reach out directly, if it has to be the president, to help them understand our situation here, that look, we are a part of America. We are crucial to America's war strategy, right? We are important. And if it's not in America's best interest for the CNMI economy to fail. And we're trying our best. We're still a very new Commonwealth. The covenant is an agreement that we're still trying to work out and figure out. But I think at least at the very basic, the guarantee from the United States was to help us to become economically sustainable, right? And I know there's mistakes that have been made in the past, and we have to learn from our past. And we can't continue to create these same cycles of up and down. But at some point, we do have to band together as a legislature and together as a government, and let our voice be heard. If it's America first, if our president is pushing America first, we are America. Send us some American investment. Send something here. And I know we get a lot of federal funding, but it comes with a lot of, red tape at times. But I just feel like we also need to band together with Kim Hines and, also Deputy Secretary Damapan and see how we can meet with those people in DC and not wait for, when they're available. We have to have our voice felt now, and so that way we can rectify these situations, and we don't have to keep going back to MPLT and going to all these drastic measures. So I just want to take that time to say that, and I thank you, my colleagues, for exhausting all efforts. We're all trying our best here, to figure the situation out. And I also want to commend my colleague, Representative Angelo Camacho, because we decided to just get together and put together some sort of food drive. We understand that we're allocating this monies, and the $100 million the $1 million will be available soon, but families aren't eating right now, so we want to do what we can to just bridge that gap, at least for a couple of days. We understand our resources are very low, but we went out to all the local businesses, and they gave from their heart in Cagman. Imagine that. Businesses are struggling, and they're still trying to help. So, I would encourage everybody, to try and do something. I know we're all doing our best, and me and Congressman Angelo, we're focused on our precinct too, but we also want to try to help everyone. And I just wanted to take that time to thank him and thank all of you, my colleagues, for doing all that we can. We're trying our best, and I just wanted to reiterate that to the public. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Manglonia. Leader Roy Ada.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And also to Leader BJ and TJ, I sympathize with you. Your sentiments with what's going on. With everything that's going on with the economy and the hardship of, even with our revenue and just sustaining public service, essential public service is difficult. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, with the suspension of federal funds that's coming in, it's not only, it's majority of the federal programs are jeopardized, and now we're in this predicament. And I just want to say to the public that it's really heartbreaking to know that there's a lot of people out there that are really in need. There are many tougher challenges that we don't see, especially people who rely on that federal assistance, going through some medical challenges or, you know, pension is not enough for to sustain or supplement for their needs. And I just want to let the public know that we talk about this every day that we meet, and we are so concerned about, you know, the well-being of the public, and also with the 29 million marginal loan, this will ensure that the retirees get their pensions on time. And I like to thank you know, our chairman for Ways and Means for pushing this. I just also want to extend my appreciation to the agencies, the nonprofit organizations like Caridot and Salvation Army, the diocese, churches for stepping up and doing all these food drives to address, you know, to help out the people who are in need, and all the individuals and independent organizations, civic organizations that are doing just that. You know, I'm pretty sure that most of us have received a lot of requests to, you know, about certain fundraisers that they're doing to assist with, you know, the current situation with the NAP. And I'd like to thank all those organizations, and to include the Food Stamp Office. Thank you for being on top of, you know, the issue. Also to our U.S. Delegate, Kimberly Hines. Thank you for keeping everybody updated with what's going on, and most especially your effort. And also to the Department of Interior, thank you for your assistance. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield.
Thank you, Representative Roy Handa. Representative John Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do want to extend my appreciation to all the members for your support for House Bill number 24-68. We are a step ahead of us in trying to address their revised budget, but I just want to inform the members that there's still a lot of work ahead of us. After meeting with the administration yesterday, the other arising challenges right now before us is JLHLI for the retirees. And right now the administration are under discussion with our one and only insurance, Aetna, and we have to, I'm looking forward to working with Chairman Judolph Snyder from the Fiscal Affairs Office so that we can reconvene jointly as Ways and Means and Fiscal Affairs so that we can tackle on further and get the revised budget moving forward so that we can address the many challenges and shortfalls that are in place on the communication on the revised budget from the administration. So I just want to inform the members of Ways and Means we will continue our work again next week, and hopefully we can get a compromise on a revised budget sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative J.P. Sablan. Representative Aquino.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to let all members know that, you know, the Salvation Army, they're doing like monthly food feeding, and they feed basically like 800 to 1,000 individuals per month. So, you know, if you have some money to spare, at least $100 from your account, you know, maybe we can contribute that to the Salvation Army so they can help feed families out there. Second, I want to thank our delegate, Kimberly Hines, for her hard work and her tireless efforts in helping the people of the CNMI. And, you know, I also want to convey out there with my colleague, my chairman, John Paul, for all the projects that we do together. All the guys, I want to thank Big Daddy Ken, Nicature, Little D, Cupcake, and Speedy. And I want to thank our speaker for the flexibility during All Souls Day. You know, I dropped my dad to dialysis, and, you know, I was confronted by the people attending dialysis about the current situation. And, you know, a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on the governor, but, you know, I'm close to the governor. Everybody knows that. He's like a dad. I call him Papa Tang. So, you know, when I hear things like negative things, you know, it rubs me the wrong way because I know that guy, his heart. He's a very down-to-earth individual, and he's just somebody that really cares about the well-being of everybody in the CNMI. As with the House members, you know, when we see the social media about, you know, we just don't care, that's not true. I see it from every member. I see it in our debates, the floor leader. You know, that's a very interesting point that she brought up because whatever happened in the past with the garment industry, look at now, we're talking about automobile industries coming here just to get that made in the CNMI USA tag, which is what they did during the garment industry. So what makes that any different? They killed the immigration, they killed one of our biggest revenues. So I just want to tell the people out there, you know, please, you know, be patient because we do care. We see Chairman Attal with his bills, you know, for the food stamp and all that. We see other members here pushing revenue generating measures, and we do care. I was raised by my mom, raised 5 kids. Let me tell you, when she passed away, my heart broke. When I see mothers out there going on social media talking about like, we don't care, they need to buy Similac. Let me tell you, man, I've been there. I got 3 kids of my own. I've been very independent. I used to take telephones. I used to take broken irons. I used to rewire them and sell them at flea markets. I did what I could to survive. And there's no way that anybody, they can tell me that they cannot do the same thing. I saw a guy in San Antonio selling onions for $1. These are people doing what they can do to survive. So I think the more we express our frustration, maybe we should do it in private. You know, we're trying our best. And that's all I'm just telling the people. We're trying our best. My last point is to my colleague, TJ Manglonia, is trying to steal our thunder, like colleague, you know, by trying to promote Precinct 5. But I still say to the people out there, Precinct 2 is where it's at. And I thank him for any donation he's going to give to Precinct 2 for the donation drive. And we, too, are on top of that. To the people of Precinct 2, we love you. Chairman John Paul and I, we're doing what we can. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Aquino, and those are really good words to share to the public. Representative Roman Benevent.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I respectfully regret that didn't ask the floor leader to recode Senate Bill 24-4, which was placed on my committee earlier. Unfortunately, the reason why that I did not dispute on this bill or make any recommendations to gather my committee to all together is because we were so busy. You know, we had challenges. I had challenges with the budget through the PSS. I've been meeting with PSS, with other members on my committee, and we've been struggling, you know, trying to make time, trying to hustle out and try to make everything as quick as possible so we can come up with a tangible number to satisfy PSS needs. But unfortunately, it didn't give me the time and the effort to do the committee meetings and come out with a result to put it in the committee, this Senate bill. The Senate bill was crafted by a former colleague from the legislature, from the House. So anyway, he asked me to go ahead and try to submit it in, or put it on the calendar. But I'm gonna formally ask the Speaker to please, can you put Senate Bill 24-4 in the calendar for the next, the floor leader? Can you put the Senate Bill 24-4 for the to calendar for the next session. And with that, sorry for the inconvenient members, but these are the things that we find on a daily basis. And yes, we want to do a lot of things. We want to contribute, we can say everything what we want to say. You don't have to say it. Just do it. That's the motto. Don't talk about it, do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Benavente, and Floor Leader, just take note of that, and we'll go ahead and place that on calendar for the next a later session. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Speaker, and duly noted, Chairman Benavente. And again, this goes back to a lot of the stuff that we are now faced with. We have a humanitarian emergency. We have a austerity crisis. I mean, there's just so many things going on in our community right now. But I must, express the importance of this unified voice, which goes back to what Rep. TJ was saying, that we need to come together. I give my appreciation to Delegate Hines, I've had the opportunity to exchange on and off camera about issues that greatly affect us. And it's unfortunate that she does not have the budgetary allowances to allow her to go and lobby about certain things, including cabotage concerns, which we're still kind of waiting what the federal government's going to decide to do with that. But that totally restricts us once again, right? But we're not talking about those things because it's a much higher government over our local government. But that covenant was there for a reason, because we have the rights to self-govern ourselves. There's terms in that covenant that greatly express what this marriage is supposed to look like. But apparently, there's too many interpreters up there in the federal government, and they think that they know what's best for us, but they don't. So I have to give it, I have to express this because Delegate Kim Hines has been talking about this, talking about it the whole time. And while she's talking about it over there, we're over here fighting amongst each other about what local bills to pass. Don't do revenue generating bills because it's going to hurt this and hurt that. At this point, we are pushed to the corner. And as much as we don't want to do taxes, we have to, because this administration, the Trump administration, is giving everything to the states to pull yourself out of a rut. How do we do that with no new investor? How do we do that without airlines coming in? How do we do that with all these restrictions? How? So I urge everybody in the public to voice that out, Send Kim Hines an email. These are the concerns on the covenant. Address this. Because she's very much aware. She's an attorney, for crying out loud. If there's anyone that knows how to advocate, it's her. And a lot of the other people that are there. But from now on, moving forward, this administration, the executive branch, and I'm not going to go into what Rep. BJ has mentioned because he's right on a lot of the things he said. I better not find out that there's pay raise anywhere in the executive branch. I better not find out there are local hires under local funded sources, because we have the authority to investigate such actions. But we cannot do that right now because you know why? It's not important. What's important is feeding the hungry. What's important is finding money to help PSS. What's important is figuring out how can we be self-sustaining. That's important. But if this executive branch, and I know that his team is watching, This committee better not find out, this House of Representatives better not find out that on local hires, local funds, there's new hire. Better not find out that there's pay raises on the $4.5 million that's about to come down from the federal government. Because while you give those raises, we need to figure out how to feed the nap. I'll tell you this much, if you give the pay raise, come next year, how do you suppose we're gonna fund that? How? So this pay raise better stop. This hiring for nonsense better stop. Because we haven't hired our LAs, our clerk, our staff, everyone in the legislature, in the bureau is overworked, underpaid, but they don't complain. Not once. They can't even go on leave. Let's be honest. Our staff in the LB can't even go on leave. But I got the executive branch hiring. I don't know for what. I got pay raises happening. Why? Totally unjustified. But they can. You want a law for that? I'm pretty sure we could do that. That's easy. But then I'm pretty sure someone's going to say that's overreach. Everything's overreach. We're doing everything we can to help our community. But there's branches also that need to help themselves and start doing what they're supposed to do. Start collecting. But one of the only thing I really wanted to express here, Mr. Speaker, is that we need to start meeting with the federal government. And now, unfortunately, since they're on shutdown, even if we wanted to leave, we cannot go. We can't go and see them because they're shut down. So that is important, colleagues. We need to figure out another way to negotiate our terms and conditions with the federal government, because I am not going to be the tip of the spear. This community will not be the tip of the spear for nothing. My home and my people are important. And if they don't understand that, then maybe it's time we all go over there. And maybe we'll get the executive branch to pay, since they have money to pay raise and new hire. So please, don't make me find out, and I do not need to see this anywhere on OPA as a complaint, or someone asking me to do an OGA because someone was hired under local funds, paid for by the millions of dollars that's going to be coming down through the federal government, because that's completely unacceptable. While you threaten the austerity of the ones in the bottom, you're going to keep the ones on the top and give them a pay raise. Something's definitely wrong with that plan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Any further under miscellaneous? Ready? All right, we'll now move down to announcements. Any announcements? Rep Yanktamai.
Thank you, Speaker. On behalf of the President of APIL, our Speaker, and the other Director of APIL, CNMI APIL, Senator Hofschneider, would like to thank everyone for the wonderful gifts that you donated for our friends from the Pacific. So Kiribati was really happy, elated about their gifts. So they said, okay, you can come and spend Christmas in June. Or, yes, we're going to Kiribati in June. So get ready. That's Christmas Island. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Yanktamai. Representative Aldan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So coming on the 10th of, starting next week, Monday, the 10th, we'll be doing the OSHA construction class for OSHA 10 and OSHA 30. So that's open to the public, first come, first serve, 30 seats available, and it's for free. So hopefully, maybe, hoping, praying that some of these government employees like get out of the government and, go work for the construction company or something in the private sector. Or maybe we could just reduce our budget.
Thank you, Rep. Aldan. Any further under announcements? Okay,
I forgot.
Representative Aldan.
So it's gonna be on the 10th. Make sure that everybody hears this. On the 10th of November at Coblerville Community Center. It starts at 6 p.m. and we're gonna keep doing it until the 30-hour class is done. Class is free. Get it? It's free. To the public, it's free. They'll learn something so that you could get a job in the private sector.
Thank you, Representative Aldan. Representative Omar, you had your hand up? Oh, okay. All right, Representative Benavente.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to thank everybody that are here today, the members and everyone. It's a very interesting, discussion, and also considering the fact that our colleague over here mentioned about the APIL. I was very surprised, and I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of those Micronesians that were here and, connect with them. So it was something that is very touching and very fruitful for everybody.
Sorry to interfere. Gusto mo announcement? No?
Why ko announcement based on honesty announcement. Jaw na based on na ibiyo ni taposa pogo. To define the 25%. Ibiyo ni taposa pogo no hunggan dongkulu no nakodguizo ibiyo ni para tanoi watui PSS. Low 25% from 15% ni PSS way back on this di matulaika may amende constitution. Sa mo amende constitution e G 1812. E juna bill 1812 gawa no kumafi juna bill. Ja legislative initiative ja dago jungi publiko ja mapasa ni publiko ma ratify. Pus gininin no 25% gagi gisanalon giya alon na bill from 15% wak solo 25% lo pago 25% maditimimina na ko itak papa na numero ni pumatsuli pa itak kilo na numero ni pumatsuli IPSS pus ejigi na liliko maulik jata process ti ja uwaha ka bolis na direksyon to may mamanu monu PSS gimagayt para utsuli sa debit ti sinya na po sacrificial oki ipumalon no departamento siya dan pumalon DB gobernamento debi di ta nagwaha janta no iloki ipumalo jata posi siya i obligasyon i gobernamento pues munojan no debit ta no i PSS ni 25%. Logi pago na momento malagunya kumu makolek i salapi kumu marikoy salapi gini ni revenue dan ni taxation revenue and taxation malagunya po matsulia pus ti enigi estina bio para determina na debit ta noi finenina do fan manoi to fan mapati pareo todo pues jigine como mapati pareo june atuli 25%. No, thank you sidus motion no.
Okay. Thank you. We're still under announcement. Ready? Okay, before we move to adjournment, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. I plan on calling for an emergency session tomorrow morning at 10 to address the NAP or the food stamp situation. So just make your calendar available for around that time. A memo will be forthcoming. So that's my announcement. We're still under announcement, so. Ready? All right, we'll now move down to adjournment, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move to adjourn, subject to the call of the chair. So move.
A motion has been made by the floor leader for adjournment, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The session's hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone.